To give needs a recipient. So how do you give to the dead? The name of this week's Torah portion is Vayechi, and Jacob lived. And yet the entire narrative is dealing with his death. Why are we labeling this narrative, and he lived, when it's really about his death? The answer is, the greatest gift a child can give is to live their parents' legacy. Jacob's children receive their father's blessing and so go out into the world living his legacy. Jacob truly lives. I'm 19 years old and it's my first ever trip to Poland. I go and sit with my grandmother, a Holocaust survivor, getting ready for the trip. As I leave, she hands me an envelope with my grandfather's yellow star and badge from Buchenwald concentration camp and says, "Please see if you can find my father." Find her father? An unmarked grave in Poland? What are the chances of that? So I go on the trip and we have a tour guide. And the tour guide happens to have connections to Lodz, which is the very same town that my grandmother is from. And he gets a copy of the burial records. And I'm scanning down the list. And there is a name, Josef Hochspiegel, my great-grandfather's name, with a plot in the cemetery. So I'm standing in an overgrown part of the cemetery with an area entirely made up of unmarked graves, and I find my way counting along the row. And there I am, standing by my great-grandfather. I pick up my phone and I call my grandmother in Israel. And I say, "Grandma, I'm standing next to your father. I'm going to say Kaddish now." Fast forward a year and it's a very different trip to Poland. My grandmother is now coming as a survivor on a trip together with 2 of her daughters, 3 of her grandchildren, living her legacy. We get to the cemetery and now it's no longer an unmarked grave. She's arranged for a proper headstone to be put up for her father and we consecrate the headstone. And once again, we say Kaddish, Yiskadam, V'yiskadash Shemei Rabbah. And I share with her something I'd like to share with you now. So I said to my grandmother, "Why, when someone's died, do we say Kaddish? It doesn't seem to have anything to do with sadness or mourning." And I explained, every single person is a shining soul who brings a unique light into this world. When that person's gone, it feels like there's a darkness, there's a vacuum. Kaddish says, we're asking for more godliness to be in the world. I will shine their light. I will take responsibility to shine your light. And in so doing, I will give you the greatest gift I can possibly give. The gift of legacy. And what's her legacy now? Grandchildren and great-grandchildren that are committed to our faith, our country, and our people. Be great. Be a giver. Live their legacy. Shabbat Shalom.